Tookie was just happened to be in the area because he had dropped off some girl that he was with that night, at a club or something, you know, and we ran into him at the store. And when he saw Tight Eyes and Grasshopper, he was more like, okay, if it ain't four legs of trouble.
Be very careful who you talk to, because you'll never know who the informant is, who the cooperating witness may be, and you never know somebody who was a friend today may have been flipped the night before and become your enemy tomorrow.
About humanity, putting truth in these lines while they busy feeding lies. When you got that tunnel vision, gotta open up your eyes. Wake up and go to sleep. Man, I'm praying all times. And to my guys, ain't no other side. This for my brothers, I'ma pray we all shine. Lock the door. Go ahead, lock the door. Lock the door. Go ahead, lock the door. Yeah, you already know.
Depending on the lessons, some people eat, some people learn. But the game is going to send you a bill. Lock the door.
Professor Melly Mail, the Hood Postman, who I'm here with today.
Mayo, a lot of people call me Pops, you know what I'm saying? But Mayo is the way we go. Back in the days, it was Snake, you know what I'm saying? So.
And specifically, what area when you were Snake?
Oh man, that was back in Park Village, man, many years ago, back in the early 70s.
What year did you move in Park Village?
We moved in Park Village around, I'll say probably around 1967.
Okay. So it's been a while since we sat down, and I just want to get back with you and see where we're at, because we're talking about Deep in the Root.
Oh yeah.
Deep in the Root will be a documentary, and also it will become a series where we go back in time, and we're going to talk about before gangbanging, and where we are today.
Exactly.
And I have the CEO, Mayo Harris, straight out of Compton, and I want to give it to you there. Talk to us about Deep in the Root.
First of all, Deep in the Root, it's about us. It's about, a time, in the past, What we want to do is we want to bring the 60s back, and we're going to walk through the 70s and the 80s, the 90s, and that's the reason why it's going to become a series, so that we can actually get all this footage without having to chop it up too much, to try to get parts that, probably irrelevant or anything like that, because, when you're telling a story, you have to really tell the story. So Deep in the Root, it's about everything. It's about family. It's about friends. It's about things that we used to do back in the days. It's about building go-karts and bikes and shit. You know what I'm saying? And we was like a team. You know what I'm saying? We all the homies in the neighborhood. There was no game banging at this time that I'm talking about right now. That revolved around the early 70s. So, but where we at right now, we're like in 1968. And this was right before Martin Luther King was assassinated. So we have that story is coming into this right here as well. But, we're going to go back to them old dances we used to do, the parties we used to go to, the clothes we used to wear, you know, the handshakes and the year that was, the cars, the Lolos. So it's just gonna be a movie that everybody would be able to enjoy. And I'm just glad to get back around to it. You know, it's been a minute since we last talked about it. So now that we're back in the loop, we're ready to go. We're gonna start this one off with a documentary. This is a sales pitch, you know, to our investors that will be investing in this movie. It's much easier to kind of like go through the motion of the movie, and we're gonna do some scenes that's gonna be actual scenes in the movie, so that way we'll have something to pitch when we are, you know, dealing with, you know, like I said, these investors.
And where do I come in? The Hood Postman and all
Oh man,
this?
the Hood Postman, you know, the Hood Postman is like history, you know what I'm saying? He's like a barrel of history, you know, and he has a role in this. He'll be playing Martin Luther King. We will be going to what's that state?
I had a dream.
I had a dream. He's gonna have to, you know, he's gonna have to put the clothes on. He's gonna have to put the look on, and he have to bring the conversation about what he talked about, you know, and make that a reality that that we all can connect to. So I'm excited. It's a lot of people's involved in this, and we're gonna take it, you know.
Okay,
for
let's
all that
dig
it's
in,
worth.
Mile. Let's dig in. We're talking about a period of time when we shot marbles, the girls played tetherball, hopscotch. You're talking about a period of time when we hung the frame of a bicycle on a tree by a coat hanger and spray painted it.
You know, with that metal flake paint.
And you're talking about a time when we took 2x4s and put long
Built-
boards and
yeah,
build go-karts
go-karts.
and nailed them in,
Yeah.
and our homie would push us to see who can get across the line
and them
fast.
tires always fall off like that.
We didn't
you
have
know?
no social media.
Yeah.
We didn't have no cell phones. We didn't have any of this. We
Yeah.
would draw lines in the street to see who was the fastest on the block,
Oh yeah.
and how well we could climb trees and
Yes,
eat
yeah.
fruit off the fruit trees that grew in the community.
Man, we bringing all that energy, you know, all of it, you know, and the girls, you know, getting our hair French braided on the porch, and you know, the press and curl, the process hair, you know what I'm saying, the Jerry curl, you know.
when Miss Brumfield and Miss Mabel and Miss Collins could say, Mario, you better, boy, I see you. You
Yeah.
better get home. I'm
Yeah.
gonna whoop your butt.
Yeah.
And when your mama get here, she gonna whoop you too.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, our neighbors, you know, they was like our parents, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, you dodging your mama or your dad is not good enough, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to dodge the rest of these parents around here, because they'll take you by the ear and walk you home, you know? So, yeah, them was the days, you know. It was a lot of togetherness back in them days. This was a time when the Black Panthers was out, you know, and they would teach us.
Sons of Wops.
Yeah, they teach us, you know, they'll stop us, you know, because they lived in Park Village. And they see us walking, they'll stop us and say, whenever you pass a brother, you put up the fist, you know, and, you know, they won't let you just walk past, you know, you're going to have to greet each other with the fist, you know.
So right now, we're giving you theater of the mind. We're giving you a vision of what's inside Miles' mind. But you just see how he just did that walkthrough. And we're going to do that, and we're going to do it documentary style. We're going to put it on film. We're going to have actors and actresses and sound. We're going to have boom mics. We're going to have we're going to have drones. We're going to have everything. And we're going to take it to the Grandies, the Park Village, the epic center of Compton, Crips as well. But we want to show what was like before. But Mayo, who or what detached us from our trajectory, the life that we were living? Because we had fun.
You know what? I guess some people would probably say that time, you know, as time moved forward, it brings on change. You know, you know, to me, you know, I think it's the elements that we, you know, attach ourselves to that become trendy, or, you know, just things that, that, you know, we just become as time go on, you know, as we grow up, you know, you know, when you're a child, you know, you do child things, you know, but as you get older, your mind matures, you know, and you start thinking a little bit more serious about where you're going.
When I was a child, I thought as a child, and became a man, I put childish things away.
Yeah. You know, just like dances change, you know, clothes and, you know, things that we wore back in the days, like bell bottoms and stuff. You know, we don't wear that stuff no more.
Do you think time has brought about a low perspective taking as far as our culture and how we think about things now?
Yeah, that could be, you know, yeah, you know, we just have to, you know, keep it, you know, whatever it is, you know, just kind of keep it going in a good straight way, you know what I'm saying? Because this right here is going to be about, you know, there in the early 70s, as we move into the 70s, you know, we're going to show you how the gang banging got started, you know, and we're going to take you back to Raymond Washington. We're going to take you back to Mac Thomas, you know, Tookie, all of them, you know, the peoples that we used to roll with, you know, and how it all revolved it and came about. So a lot of times, you know, a lot of youth today, they don't know, you know, they only heard stories of things. A story like this can only be told by a original OG, because you had to been there. You had to been there, you know, in order to be able to tell the story, you know, and the good thing about it is that the actors that's going to be playing in this movie is actual brothers from the street, you know what I'm saying, from the hoods, you know. So if we are filming the Bloods, you know, then it will be them actual Bloods. We'll pick the ones that we want, you know, that has the ability to act, and we'll get them in there, you know what I'm saying. If it's the Crips, you know what I'm saying, we're going to hand pick them, you know what I'm saying.
And let's make that distinction. This distinction is not by Crips. It's about Compton.
It's
deep
about
in the
Compton,
road.
yeah.
And there was many aspects that made up. There was the Us Boys, there was the Crips, there was the Black Panthers, there was the Pirus, which is Us Boys and Pirus are original created gangs out of Compton.
Right.
Everything else was brought into. But anyway, we're going to make sure that we include everybody. Everybody has a part.
Yeah, everybody has a part in this, because, like I said, this movie is about us. You know, we're going to build this movie together, you know. So, you know, we'll go through all the ins and outs, ups and downs, side to side. We're going to flip this thing in every way we can flip it to get it right.
Got it.
Yeah.
Let's get into it, man. Mac Thomas. What was Mac when you first laid eyes on Mac? What was that like?
Mac Thomas, you know, when I first seen Mac, it was from a distance. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like, you know, actually walking up and I don't even think I ever introduced myself to him. You know, it was always from a distance. Even at meetings, when we was having them meetings and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, like I said, you know, my name was Snake, so, you know, I was real quiet, laid back in the cut, you know what I'm saying? You know, I just did all the listening, paid attention to everything and everybody, you know, so I wasn't a talker, you know, I was just Snake, you know.
What was the observable reality on your part? What was happening? Because are we talking about Raymond Park, or are we talking about Granny's, the initiation?
Well,
of it.
It happened, you know, it was a lot of stuff. The meetings was going on in Raymond Park, the Grandies, the meetings was going on over there, and the meetings went on in Park Village too.
Cali finest, baby. Proof of grind all the time. Music money, got a dollar sign. Hub City. I'm a street nigga, streets fuck with me. I'ma keep pushing products till the feds get me. It's guap off top, diamond Cartier. That nigga Wall won't give a broke bitch the time of day. They see me climbing, they see me shining. That's hard work, proof of grinding. New money got me tipping in that 550. I lead bad man and I'm so pretty. I got that tech